Hi everyone, I'm Sunshine,
And I'm Shogo.
and welcome to OMG Japan.
In this podcast, Rakugo master Katsura Sunshine and Let Shogo delve into the theme of enjoying Japan more, revealing the secrets of Japanese culture and the behind the scenes of our activities, all while aiming to connect more closely with you.
So another episode here in
Oh, I'm
the
mic'd
Dojo
up.
Store.
You keep taking the mic away from me and putting it back in a...
And you haven't noticed?
Yeah, he goes, no, I don't notice. You must be using the ninja techniques.
Looking behind us. Yes, we're still at the Ninja Dojo in the store. Yes.
We are. This is an amazing place, yeah.
Beautiful background
Holy
over
smokes,
here.
I love it.
Yeah. And thankfully we have these chairs.
Yes,
We're not
thank
doing
God.
any punishment anymore.
Thank God. No, we were just talking, and I did Seiza. We all did Seiza on straight tatami, no zabuton, no cushion, just on straight tatami. That was fine for a while, but man, at the end it hurt. But it's just when they were talking, like the ninja master was telling us about
Yeah.
the whole point of becoming a ninja is
the
pushing your
reason.
boundaries of personal suffering.
Yes.
Whether it be how long can you go without food, so your fasting powers, your stopping your breathing powers,
Yep.
like holding your breath,
Yes. Pain.
pain tolerance.
Yep.
I'm not going to suddenly say, oh, my knees hurt because I'm kneeling here with you in the middle of a discussion like that. It would have ruined it. So I tested my tolerance.
Yeah.
Tell you
But
that.
at the end it kind of exploded a little bit, but
No, I'm glad you noticed because at some point I was going to have to interrupt it. But it came to a good ending.
yeah.
Thank God.
It did.
That was actually kind of funny at the end with me sprawled out like a...
It wasn't.
The ninja killed me by Seiza. Death by kneeling. Katsura Sunshine.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much for bringing me here. What a
Absolutely.
place.
I'm
What a place.
So happy to be here with you. Yeah, there's so many other places we could absolutely go. Because I think it was our first time, having someone speaking just in Japanese and
Yeah.
the translation. We got to see the comments and how everyone's going to be reacting to this. But I think we were able to translate everything pretty clearly. Yeah. Of course, listening to Japanese too is, if you're studying Japanese and such, I think is really nice. And
Yeah.
of course, it's very authentic having a Japanese person speak Japanese, And of course, we did try to translate right after it. So I think it should be fine. Yeah,
be
please
okay.
let us know. Yeah, if you're just listening to it, I think it should have been fine. So please let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Because if we can do it in this format, I think we can go and interview and talk with a lot of other people, I think.
100%.
So, yeah. What other people would come to my mind? They would do something like this, maybe visit their place or talk with them. What other people come to your mind, by the way?
To interview on our podcast?
Or anything. Interview, do some
Oh,
kind of TV
yeah. I mean, any number of people. Like when you talk about
Absolutely.
these kinds of masters who have... I love the Japanese word kiwameru.
Kiwameru. Yeah.
Which is studying something to the extreme of that skill.
Yep.
And I think it just permeates so much of Japanese culture and Japanese people's way of thinking of...
Yes.
Even some people say photography is my hobby. But then you see like the equipment they have and the amount of time they spend and the amount of study they put into it and the sheer professionalism of the pictures. Like, how is that a hobby? The only thing that makes it a hobby is you're not taking money for it, perhaps.
Yeah.
That's what separates you from professional. But yeah, I feel like you get that a lot in Japan.
Absolutely.
So yeah, people of all walks of life that have really like reached that extreme of knowledge or skill in a certain area.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would definitely, if we could have my no theater sensei, I think. Yeah, we can have my no theater sensei. He's in
No
Kyoto.
theater. Sorry,
No
I
theater
misheard you.
Yeah. He could appear on OMG.
I love it. Yeah.
We can ask about no theater and stuff. Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly. That could be really cool. Yeah. If it's in Kyoto, we can have we could have anyone actually, but yeah, I think the first person would come to my mind would be my no theater sensei. Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly. My tea ceremony sensei. I've been training in tea ceremony for as long as I've been training in no theater, which is like 6-7 years now. But she's a little bit too scary, so I can't.
Oh, really?
She is. I think the person I fear the most is her. She's a very strict sensei.
Wow.
She's a very strict sensei.
I guess too much tea will do that.
No, she is. At the same time, she is the most gentle, yasashi, warm-hearted person.
Right.
Her strictness comes from her love to us, to students, and especially because I am a person that went up to her on my first day my first period of training. I was like, please be strict, to me, because I really want to understand the way of tea. Of course, people who are like, I'm just here as a hobby, she's very kind. She doesn't, raise her voice. She never raises her voice. She's very kind. She's just very soft and kind.
Right.
But to students who are like, can you do really serious? And she's very serious.
Very serious.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So she's a little bit too scary, but yeah, exactly. I mean, no theater sensei, he is just 5 or 6 years older than me. He's a very young no gakuka.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's no gakushi, you would call it in Japanese. So he would be happy. I'm actually even doing a Let's Ask Ismi Sensei series on Let's Ask Shogo, which is
Right.
featuring
Nice.
him.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we could do that, I think. Yes. Any I don't have that many connections with craftsmen. Do you have any connections with craftsmen?
Crafts. You're putting me on a spot. I'm sure I can find some people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Artists, crafts, people.
I think you were talking about that the professional Nihonbuyo dancer.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Ukon-san.
Yeah, he
100%.
dances as an oiran or something like that, right?
He does oiran, but he does shishi. He does, which is the
wow.
lion. Oiran is a Japanese prostitute, so it's more on the prostitution side than geisha, but the look of it is very similar.
It's top rank. Yes.
Yeah.
There's even ranks and prostitutes in the past of Japan, which is really interesting.
Prostitute rank. So
Oiran
oiran is
is
the
the
top rank.
top rank.
Prostitute, you know more about it than I do. Yeah. So my buddy Ukon-san, we got to interview him for sure.
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah. You know more about me than I do, so don't bother asking.
I should have just said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the second
100%.
time we met. Yeah, when we talked about him.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, we performed together in New York last month. So
Absolutely.
yeah, he would love to sit down for an interview. I think. Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. So he is a Nihonbuyoka, right? And
Nihonbuya,
yeah.
And
Okay.
he's third generation of his Takafuji family.
Wow.
The second generation was his mother, and the first generation was his grandmother.
Oh,
so
okay.
he took it from a line of female dancers, and he's taking on the family name.
Yeah, exactly. Nihonbuyo is really interesting. Its
Yeah.
history. Yeah, because Nihonbuyo itself originally branched from Kabuki. Yes, because during the Edo period, the three major entertainment during the Edo period was Rakugo, of course,
Right.
and there was sumo and kabuki, right?
Right.
These three were the top three major entertainment for commoners. Yes, and the kabuki though it has a history of originally it was done by women. Yes. By Japanese dancers, But the problem is that when women's, performed on stage, on street performances, they started to sell something else, not just their performances, And
Right.
that was banned because it would be, distort or not be good for the society, basically. Yeah. And then they banned women to be on stage. So
Right.
now young men started to be on stage instead to perform kabuki.
Right.
But then young men also started to sell something else than their performances.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then there was another rule that the Edo shogunate made that only men who are from a certain age, or older men, can be on stage.
Yeah.
And that's how kabuki developed. But at the same time, though,
No one wants to buy sex from them, right? Is that the morality police? I heard the same thing about the history.
yes,
of it.
exactly.
Must
But-
be true.
But women, though, dancing, the art of the Japanese traditional dancing, though, it did survive, though, still.
Sure.
Kind of hidden and only in certain places.
Right.
So
Right.
there are people, so it's really interesting how the dancing itself is a dance of women, but a lot of men are actually instructors. Because in the past, only men were allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot
Interesting.
of these shihan, we call them the instructors, tend to be men who do the dances as women. Yeah, and then the women are actually learning it today, for example. That's the reason why a lot of men do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we talked a little bit about this on my channel before, and a lot of people were surprised that men are acting as women in the traditional dancing, and they were asking me why, but this is the background. Yeah, because officially only men were allowed to be on stage. That's the reason why women had to be acted by men too. So everything has to be done by men. So that's the reason why a lot of even today, Nihonbuyoka tend to be men, even if they're dancing as women. So
Right.
it doesn't matter. The gender doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Women can be dancing as men too today. So
Right.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
equal opportunity.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very
Well, Uko-san and I do a show where he will dance as the oiran, which is the geisha,
Yeah.
and then I will do a rakugo that maybe is related to the dance, and then he'll come out as the lion, which is the chishi, which is really spectacular. I mean, I think that's based on Chinese dance. I think because you have
really?
don't quote me on that at all, but you have the chishi.
Yeah.
Which is a massive lion dance. And it's very spectacular and very athletic. And then I'll do another little rakugo.
Yeah.
and then we come out at the end to greet the audience. And inevitably, as we're greeting the audience, people say, you two were fantastic.
Yeah.
Where was the lady who performed at the beginning? Did she have to go early? I want to congratulate her too.
Yeah.
It's him.
Right over here.
They're shocked.
Same person.
Yep,
Right?
same person.
But the atmosphere, yes, the gestures and everything is just so feminine.
It's so feminine.
People
Yeah,
don't notice,
people,
right?
people don't notice it's a man dancing. Yeah,
Exactly. It's amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Even the people who are called ningen kokuho in Japan. There's a lot of Nihon Buyoka.
Ningen
kokuho
kokuho.
are
Living national treasure.
living
I think,
national
yeah.
treasures. That's the best way to translate it. Yeah, a lot of some of those ningen kokuho are actually the Nihon Buyoka who dances women
Right.
on stage, and their movements and everything are just like a lot of people say, like in the comments of those videos, they would say they're like I'm a woman, yeah, but he is 1,000 times more feminine than I am, yeah. So
Yeah.
exactly. So
Well,
it's amazing
also,
their techniques.
it's the same as Rakugo, but
Oh yeah.
you're not necessarily being feminine on stage in a dance is a different thing than being feminine in just like normal
Of course.
femininity, right? There's
yeah.
ways to express it.
Yep.
So, Ukon-san, who's my friend the dancer, he was when we were sitting around drinking.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll teach us moves
Oh, yeah.
to be more feminine, and it's fascinating because it's very much like Rakugo. Like you're doing something you wouldn't necessarily do in real life, but it looks real because of the way you're expressing it on stage. I don't know any of the feminine moves anymore, but in Rakugo we're told like if you want to act somewhat feminine, you never do anything straight. You always cross. So if there's a glass here, you would never take it like this. You would take it like this. Right? Or take something right here from here, right? Or if I don't know if you had an earring, you would take it off like this, not like this. Right? That's one little technique.
Okay.
Same thing when we're drinking in Rakugo, like we don't bring the cup to our mouths. We and to make it look delicious.
You bring your face to it.
You bring your face to the cup.
Yeah.
And I mean, you actually have to do that sometimes when the sake is overflowing. If you move it,
Oh yeah,
it'll
exactly,
spill.
in
So
real
sometimes
life.
you actually do that in real life.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
for
yeah.
some reason, this action makes it look more delicious. Makes it look realistic, even
It
though
does, it does.
people aren't necessarily moving their face to the cup all the time. But
Yeah.
so it's the same thing. We should get
That's right.
the feminine side from him because
Yeah.
he'll teach us, and he's teaching boys and girls
Exactly.
in the drinking party to do the same thing.
That's
and it's like,
right.
oh my God, now I know how to act like a woman. The girls say, yeah, but he spent all his life doing it. So,
Yeah,
and he learned from his mother and grandmother, so he must be good.
Wow, that's amazing. So that we have now one more person we can have on OMG Japan.
Perfect.
So
Yeah. Look forward to that.
At least sometime then this year, hopefully.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. No.
Cool. And I was wondering, you were talking a little bit about your new stages you're going to be doing. Asakusa, was it?
Asakusa, yeah, in
Asakusa
Asakusa.
and-
Mokubate.
Mukubate.
I have 10 shows a month.
Wow.
So I'm going from
Crazy. And you're
I'm
still
going
going to Broadway too, right?
Yeah,
Is that
and I'm
schedule?
leaving day after tomorrow. So
Are you
yeah,
sure
yeah.
you're going to be able to continue OMG Japan with me?
Oh yeah, no problem. It's
crazy
it's
schedule.
It's nothing. It's just a couple hours of storytelling.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing though. Yeah.
So one thing we agreed.
Uh-huh.
Now, was this on our actual podcast, or were we just
it was
talking?
at the end. It was at the end.
So
It was
we
after
did-
we stopped
So
recording.
so I can
Yeah.
say it. Can I say it?
Oh, of course.
So Shogo is coming to at some point. He's going to come to Tokyo while I'm doing the shows in Asakusa. I'm going to teach him a Rakugo story, and he's going to debut as a Rakugo ka.
Is that okay though? Should I have proper training or something like that?
No, just teach you a story.
Usually, I mean, I would love to do it, guys. Don't get me wrong.
No, you got to do it. You got to do it. It'll be awesome. Yeah.
Hopefully, then, yeah, that would be great. It would be a dream come true for me. Yeah.
100%. Let's do it. Let's do
That's
it. Yeah.
awesome.
That'll be
What, like, just an image at this point. Like, what kind of stories would be the one I should be doing for first one? Would it be the Misome or?
Miso Mame is a good story because
Yeah.
it's short, so it's easy to kind of keep in your head, and it's just two characters or one character speaking.
Yeah.
One character speaking. What do you call it? Hitorigoto, just talking to himself or talking to the air, like soliloquy.
Yeah.
And it has some fun actions like eating the beans, but they're not too difficult. That's a funny story. It's a cute story. But no, there's lots of stories. And I'm making short versions of all the Rakugo stories.
Wow.
I'm going to do one short version of a Rakugo story per month on Broadway.
Really?
To film for like TikTok.
Oh, that's good.
So
that's good.
it'll be like a full 20-minute story, but I'll do it in 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I won't be talking fast, okay? That's not the way we shorten the stories, right? I'll just encapsulate the narrative and the funny parts of it into 2 or 3 minutes.
Good. Just like you did for the kohome for us on Let's Ask Sunshine show, right?
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Kohome is one of the first ones I'm going to be doing, actually.
Yeah.
So,
really?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. You shortened that to like
Kohome.
4 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
On my channel. Too,
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be like 20 minutes long or something, right?
That actually, when I do it, full version, it's about 20 minutes.
Right.
It's
Right.
long.
You
It's
said
long.
yes. It's like 1/5 of
It's
that
long.
length.
And actually, my apprentice, Moonlight, I think, is debuting that story this month or next month.
Oh my
very,
gosh.
Very soon.
In Japan or
Yeah.
in Broadway?
No, on Broadway, yeah.
On Broadway, right? Yeah. Okay.
Katsura Sunshine apprentices get their debut performance on Broadway.
Wow.
I hope they appreciate me.
Absolutely, they should.
It took me 30 years to get to Broadway. They joined, it takes them 4 months.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. But yeah, well, that's amazing. And you were talking a little bit about, so basically, hopefully, I'm not too sure, but we might be able to record another podcast at Kokoro, right?
At Kokoro, so after this,
Yeah. So Kokoro, first of all, is your favorite restaurant?
In the world ever in my life, yes.
Really? I
Yes,
thought it was
100%.
just in Kyoto. Was
No,
it like...
no, Kyoto.
Yeah.
No, Japan.
Really?
But
That's so awesome.
everything in Japan is my favorite in the world, so the world. The world. And I've known the owner of Kokoro since before I was a Rakugo, so maybe over 20 years.
Good.
And I don't know. I mean, just the way he cooks meat,
Yeah.
whether it's breaded cutlet meat or just a steak, or if it's meat like thinly sliced to make it like sushi.
Yeah.
So nigiri, like all these different versions of meat that you are going to eat tonight.
Oh my gosh, after this, right?
That you can enjoy, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you tune into the YouTube channel so you can see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am going to change your life.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I eat a lot of good food in Tokyo. Like I've got my good meat
I bet
places,
so.
yakiniku, and I've got
bet so,
over the
yeah.
years, I've developed a taste for very good food. I think, like a discerning taste, and yet this guy that I've known for 20 years, like still nothing surpasses this. Every time I come back, it's like,
Awesome, yeah. So the reason why I wanted to talk about the new show you're doing in Asakusa and also Kokoro is because you were talking a little bit about 2 of the stories that you'll be doing in Asakusa, right? Unagiya and also Tegami? These two Rakugo stories. So we might actually be visiting a Unagiya too. To actually talk more about the stories that you're actually going to be doing, right?
Yeah. Are we going to do that today?
Not today, not today. At some point, yeah. So today we're going to be going to Kokoro, but hopefully we'll be able to actually go to a yakitori place. Yeah, yakitori place. Maybe when we can meet up in Kyoto, or maybe when I go over to the Kanto area, we could go to a yakitori place and actually, show the actual yakitori that we talked about.
We got to do yakitori, yeah.
Yeah,
my
like
life
4 or 5, yeah.
is thanks to yakitori, basically. I first saw Rakugo performances at a yakitori restaurant that I was a regular at. So yakitori is,
that's right.
for those of you who don't know yakitori, it's barbecued chicken skewers. And it's a very elegant way of eating chicken, not like us American and Canadian barbarians that just take the whole chicken and rip parts off it. And here they cut the chicken into nicely compartmentalized. If it's the skin, it's the skin. If it's the breast, it's the breast. If they have the leg, and they have the
neck or the
tail,
what parts of the organs or whatever.
the cartilage, which is one of my favorites.
Yes.
Nankotsu.
Yep.
A very elegant way to eat a chicken. In Japan, they're about 3,000 years ahead of us in culture. Cultural refinement. So I'd love to do it. Yeah, I'd love to do a set at a yakitori place for sure.
And also for that story you're going to be doing next, the unagiya, right? We actually go to an unagiya.
Well, we'll have to do that quick because I'm starting the unagiya on January 21st.
Really? How long are you going to be doing that? Is it going to be the same
1
story?
week. Yeah, same story, but it's 1 week.
Oh, but it's only for 1 week. Okay.
Yeah, so 10 shows in 1 week that I'm doing, yeah.
Oh, and then you change the stories every time.
Every month the stories
now
change,
that makes
yeah.
sense. Okay,
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe if we can't make
figure
it to
something
unagiya
out.
this time, then
Yeah,
can
we'll do it
a
next time,
different
yeah.
story. Yeah, or something.
Unagi is eel.
Yep, that's right, exactly.
And
Well, we need to explain that to everyone first.
did you
that's
say that?
right.
Did we say that? We didn't say that.
No, I haven't.
Unagi is eel. It's delicious the way Japanese make the eel. They barbecue it, much like yakitori. It's over the charcoal, right?
Yep, exactly. And they have the special sauce, right?
The sauce
For
is
unagi
huge.
specifically Yeah.
Sauce is huge.
Yeah.
But this story concerns an unagi shop owner, fish store owner,
Yeah.
who gets asked to grab the unagi from the. It's alive. It's in the.
Okay.
It's in the, like, what do you call it? The aquarium.
Okay. Yeah, that's
It's not an aquarium because it's not for looking at. It's
Yeah.
for people to get fish. But he hates.
Holding it.
He's the owner, but he hates trying to grab unagi because it slips out of the.
Yeah.
Out of your hands,
Very
it's gross.
slippery.
His wife is the one that's supposed to be in charge of the unagi.
Oh, grabbing it?
Yeah, he's the owner, but she's the one. But she's out on an errand, and there's a very, very impatient customer saying, "Grab the unagi." So he has to do it, and it's about his inability to grab it. And then finally, when he grabs it, there's this special move in Rakugo where it's going up, it's going up. How do I gotta get it down? Get it down! All right, it's going down now, going down now, going down now. Oh, it's going out the door, going out the door. Ah, I can't hold on to it.
It goes out the door.
This action is one of the funnest parts of that story. I've never done this story before. I've loved it for 17 years now, but I've never done it, so I'm looking forward to doing it.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. And also, you were talking about tegami, right?
Tegami.
Yeah, I think we need to explain to everyone about the difference between classic Rakugo stories and the modern Rakugo stories, right?
Right. Tegami is a modern story by my master. And in Japan, there are techniques for writing proper letters.
Yes.
Like they start out with a seasonal greeting, right? Like if it's,
Everything is fixed, yes.
if it's in September, maybe, then your letter would start with, right, the heat, the August heat of summer is dissipated a little bit, and only in only a few weeks the leaves may start to turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Please
start
be careful.
from that sentence, right?
Please be careful about the cold and take care of your body. I hope you are doing well since last we talked, or something like that. Very, very set, flowery greetings. And this story by my master is about this young kid who's never written a letter before in his life.
Okay.
And he goes to his uncle
Okay.
because he received a love letter from a girl,
Oh,
and he has to return the love letter. This girl who's been brought up in a very strict household, so she does not have a smartphone. She doesn't have an iPhone.
Wow.
She's not allowed to have anything, but she sent him a letter.
Okay.
A beautifully written letter. And he goes to the uncle, and the uncle, he says, Uncle, you're a letter expert.
Okay.
He said, what makes me a letter expert? He said, well, you work at the post office, so you must be a letter expert. He said, no, doesn't make me a letter expert, but I probably write a better letter than you. Then what do you need? And he helps him, but
goes wrong.
this things start to go wrong, and I don't want to spoil the story, but it's a
have to.
very charming story.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
In the end,
Your master is famous for making a lot of new modern
Yeah,
stories,
my master,
right?
Katsura Bunshi,
Yeah.
has written over 300 of his own
Right,
stories.
that is crazy. That's the same amount of the classic Rakugo stories, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So when is considered classic then?
Yeah, you gotta refrain from asking me difficult questions like that. It's actually it's a bit of a difficult question because, there's a story called The Zoo, Dobutsuren,
Okay.
and it's considered, it's like the tiger, it's a really popular story. Actually, you could do that story too.
Oh, cool.
It's a really popular story, it's really fun. The tiger in the zoo has died, so they need a guy who will put on the tiger's coat and pretend to be a tiger.
Okay.
Is basis of the story. Now, the original story of the zoo, of Dobutsuren, of the zoo, is from a British joke. Okay. So it's a rare case of something coming from abroad and becoming a Rakugo story, but it's considered classic Rakugo. It's considered Koten Rakugo.
Oh, okay.
Classic Rakugo. But I mean, when was the first zoo in Japan? Can't be that long ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the line between classic Rakugo and modern Rakugo is actually, it could be quite recent.
Blurry. Okay.
Yeah. It's blurry and more recent than you would think.
Oh, exactly. Like, because one of my favorite stories from Rakugo would absolutely be Shinigami, for example.
Yeah.
But Shinigami is originally from a story from, I think, what was it from?
From the Grimm?
Yeah, exactly. That I was trying to say.
So it's originally German.
I did a little bit of research about it. I think Shinigami came into Rakugo like 19 something. So that's quite recent too, right?
Yeah.
If it's like considered the Edo period is over then.
Yeah.
It's 19 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really curious about that. So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So
Still.
There was the first non-Japanese Rakugo storyteller, his name was Kairakute Buraku, or Henry
we talked
Black.
about him on Sharp One.
We talked about him, right?
Yep.
He and his Shisho, Sanyute and Cho, I want to say. Or it's Ensho, I can't remember. I confuse the two.
You can't
And they're
memorize
completely
everything.
different.
It's okay. You can't memorize everything.
It's very embarrassing not to be able to remember which one of the two.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up. Anyway,
His master.
gotta talk to your wife. How do we sound? please put the right one down here. It's interesting because they were in the late 1800s, and in their age, at least their school of Rakugo was really worried that Rakugo had become stagnant and old and boring, and they wanted to put in foreign influences to spice up the stories. So both the master and Black himself took stories from Europe and from China and all over the place and made them into new Rakugo stories. And they were trying to revive an art form that they thought was going kind of stale. So Rakugo right now is not stale at all, by the way.
it's
Like
not,
it's
yeah.
and some people like me are doing it in English and that kind of thing. But there's no need to change Rakugo right now. Because it's popular as it is. And actually people want more tradition now than they want. They didn't want you to do anything crazy with it. So there's some Rakugo storytellers who are doing like Rakugo mixed with jazz or Rakugo mixed with music or doing these kind of collaborative performances.
Interesting.
It's fine.
Yeah.
To me, and I wouldn't say this in Japanese. I'm not going to say this too loudly. I think completely unnecessary. Like just going back to the basic Rakugo and doing that is just so fun and so popular, and people love it, love that enough. Anyway, that's why I say I don't change Rakugo when I go abroad.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I'm not criticizing my master for making new stories. That's a completely different thing.
That's very different.
But my master's stories are very, very traditional. They're only set in the modern day. But he's using all the technique, all the rules, all the traditions of Rakugo are firmly in those stories. So he'll have a story like I do a lot. I do the story a lot. It's called Umare Kawari, which is reincarnation.
Yeah.
And it's about a guy who died, and he's at the reincarnation registration counter, and he has to do a survey to determine what he will be reincarnated into. And it's very, very much, what do you say? What's the English word? I'm losing my English.
Yeah. You say it in Japanese if you want to, yeah.
I can't remember the Japanese. What do you like when you go to like a government office and you have to fill out lots of forms? What do you call it?
Well, it's tiresome, or
It's tiresome, but it's very like
yeah.
You
know what? What is it?
I can't remember.
Okay,
I can't remember the word.
I thought you
But
remembered it, so you sound.
It's very much like a government employee is taking a survey and determining what your next existence is going to be like. It's great.
That's
However,
so funny. Yeah.
However, that story, a lot of people think that's a traditional story.
Oh.
And I actually did too.
Oh. Okay.
Like, it sounds like a traditional story, but it's my master's original story. Okay. So some of these you can't even tell what the it's timeless. Like he's writing timeless stories.
Yes. That's amazing. That's a really good topic to talk about because I think a lot of Japanese people, especially people who are completely Japanese and haven't like made, what should I say, haven't a strong relationship with people overseas and such. And because if you're doing Japanese traditional culture only for Japanese people, for many forms of art, I think we talked about this too, right? When we had a question from someone saying that which art is growing, which art is dying, and I mentioned a little bit about the forms of art, traditional art that I belong to or train in are rather declining, right? So a lot of people who are struggling to spread their art within Japan domestically, because the population in Japan is getting smaller, it's getting more and more difficult, right? And people have less money now, we're getting poorer, and people will use less money towards traditional culture and stuff like that. So they start to try to simplify things too much, change things too much, and like, for example, no theater, I'm not going to say this in Japanese either, but there is some styles, for example, some organizations that started to do no theater in English.
Right.
Now, the whole point of no theater itself, again, as I explained to you once before, the vibrations, the pronunciations of Japanese, the power, the energy you receive from that language is the part what's important. Of course, if you give everyone a sheet of paper explaining what the story is in English, that's perfectly fine. But just because you want to spread it overseas, now I should change no theater into English is not a very good idea from my point of view, at least.
100%.
Because that didn't work out. That got results, bad results. So that you should really, I really always tell people, if like the people who I work with, working in traditional culture, if you want more people to to buy from you, to learn from you, and watch your shows or whatever it is, you really should keep it traditional. Yes, and you should really, because that is the part that's difficult.
I agree.
To carry on, and that's what a lot of people want today. The only problem is that we don't do enough effort to explain these things to people, or deliver these things to people. People want this, but you don't have the route here. You don't have to change this. The route is the problem.
So you're so right. You're so
exactly right. So
the other important thing about no theater is that it's supposed to be incomprehensible. If you go to a no performance, 2/3 of the audience is sleeping because they don't understand it. Right? You put it into English, it defeats the purpose. Now everybody can understand, and they know you're saying nothing.
Yes.
We can't translate this. You might want to cut this. I'm going to get you in trouble.
It's okay. I didn't say it's
I said my friend who did his PhD in no theater, a Canadian guy.
You're saying yes.
I was saying, right? He took me to a no performance. It went like 4.5 hours. and then when I was going for a drink with him after, he was putting away this one piece of paper. I said, "What is that?" He said, "Oh, it's the script of today's show." On one page. Like, okay. Exactly. I knew they weren't saying much, but that's incredible.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but if you were to put that in it, what's the point?
Exactly. That's the thing. Exactly. So that is...
long. The road is long. So's the sentence. Long. So's this performance.
Right? So then that's going to lose its whole point.
It doesn't even feel right doing that in English. Not that I know what it feels like in Japanese, but when you say like the vibrant, it is such an experience, no theater.
Yeah.
It's like hypnotizing.
It is.
English would interfere with that.
Yeah, that's right. It'll lose its whole purpose. So exactly.
Here's a guy who's making his entire existence around doing a traditional Japanese art form in English, and now I'm talking like this. I'm agreeing with you, but I agree. It depends on the art form, right?
Exactly, it depends on the art form, exactly. I mean, changing Rakugo to English, as you explained, doesn't...
Rakugo belongs in other languages.
Exactly,
right?
I'm so that is beautiful. That change is beautiful. Like tea ceremony, for example, we, like most Yuha styles now, in tea ceremony, there's about 10 Yuha styles. We have the Ryurei-shiki, which is sitting on chairs and tables in tea ceremony. That's a beautiful change. Yeah, that's a beautiful change. It's the ultimate goal.
I highly agree with that change.
Because the ultimate goal of tea ceremony is hospitality, omoterashi. So you want to entertain other people, not make them suffer. Unless you're a trainee. If you're a trainee, then you need to train at that. But if you're, facing a okyakusama, it's another guest. Then you want to show your hospitality. Then in that case, if they're more comfortable with sitting on a chair, then why not do that? So that change is great, I think. But there are certain parts of a form of art that you shouldn't change. Otherwise, it's not going to be that anymore. If we started making coffee in tea ceremony, that would not make any sense anymore, right? Because look, a lot of people probably drink more coffee. Let's change tea to coffee.
That's weird.
What the heck are you doing, right?
And it's interesting. I've seen Rakugo turned into like theater plays with different actors doing the parts and that kind of thing.
Really?
And it's terrible.
Not Rakugo anymore.
No, it's just. So it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work at all.
There's a reason why a certain form of art was carried on for a few centuries. It's so, what's the right word? It's refined, it's been polished, basically. Exactly. So
100%.
Interesting topic.
Man, when we start talking, we go off topic, don't we?
Exactly. No, I was talking with Harumi when she was doing the editing for OMG Japan too, but I'm always like, when we talk about one thing, the topic in my head is actually branching off to like 3 or 4 other things that I want to talk with you. And then I go to one thing, right? And then this branches off to 3 or 4 things, so I can't go back anymore.
Can't go back.
There's always so many things to talk about.
Because you and your wife are doing the editing.
Oh, yeah?
And so whenever the episode comes out, I'm always very surprised at what you've chosen to be the topic of the day. Because if you asked me what the topic of the day was, we've gone on to so many different things.
Exactly.
I never know what the actual topic was. I'm always yeah, we did talk a little bit about that, didn't we? Like but you got to choose one for the thumbnail.
Exactly.
So I'm always excited to see what thumbnail comes out for the week.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I really enjoy it though. Yeah.
Oh yes, a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. I think we need to go eat.
I was just about to say that too.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Join us next week, guys.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. The two of us are involved in various Japan-related projects on a global scale, so please take a look at the description for more information. We're looking forward to your comments too. Then we'll talk to you again in the next one. ありがとうございました。